Issue 75. In the first story, a kid tells a badnik to get out of the building because if Sonic finds him, it's all over for them. The kid then protects the badnik the best he can to Sonic's confusion. The next morning, a robot says that they're trying to recover a missing badnik, and the kid lies with tears that Sonic smashed him. And the story just ends with him still being friends with the badnik. So, I guess he was one of the nice Nicks that escaped and wasn't that much of a dropped plot thread after all. But since this leads nowhere, it's pointless. After Knuckles complains about having to take the floating island so high up, they see the ghost ship. Knuckles reminds Captain Plunder that he said they would help Knuckles repair the technical systems on the floating island. He must be desperate to believe that. Why would pirates, who are kept safe in Plunder's hideout, be able to do what Porker cannot? After Knuckles is suspicious of being tricked, Plunder explains that he had stolen a trunk of ancient parchments about the floating island from a skyship years ago. Brilliantly enough, that provides an actual explanation for where he got his Sandowpolis treasure map, from the trunk of ancient parchments. The pirates go to the ghost ship by sliding along a hangar, and Knuckles glides over to it to keep an eye on things out of suspicion. In response to being told there's no one on board, Plunder orders to spread the word and start stealing, as they might be back in a minute. Knuckles is surprised because he was told it was a deserted ghost ship, and the ghost bilge tells them he's found it and to head towards him. Simpson the cat points out that he heard a wailing, and it's ignored by Plunder, who insists he heard nothing, maybe out of denial. They find a treasure statue that Plunder was looking for, but this causes them to be threatened by ghosts as the story ends. In the next story, reality ensues as the infrared scanner actually does freak out from the lava. Unfortunately, the Deus Ex Machina is that Tails and Tantrum got saved by flying badniks. Because I guess they want them for dinner. Why would they be programmed to want to eat their organic batteries? Why would a robot be able to eat? This would have made sense if they were literal monsters. Instead, they put the two of them down and argue over how to eat them, which Eggman would have never programmed them to do. The Spider Badniks argue some more, Tails and Tantrum run away, and Tantrum briefly goes from tantruming about how he wishes he could rest to showing admiration for Tails and faith in him, even though he called him useless before just to lash out. Tails smiles and lampshades in his head how 1 minute Tantrum's whining and the next he's praising him with hero worship, and he wonders if this is how he sounds to Sonic. I guess this doesn't cause Tails to learn his lesson and not be so annoying to Sonic after this. Also, Tails doesn't call Sonic useless like Tantrum does to Tails. They see a beam of daylight showing the way out of the cave and climb up the wall because I guess Tails is still too tired to fly them up that high to get out of there. And Tails is cautious enough to warn him about traps since it's obvious to them the tunnel was built by Eggman. Really? I thought it was just a naturally occurring tunnel that happened to have badniks in it. If it was built by Eggman, why doesn't it have metal walls? Also, Tails is acting oddly smart and level-headed for Fleetway Tails. It's like being alone with a little kid without Sonic around makes him gain a bunch of IQ points. It's a little late to be overcompensating at this point. Predictably, from Tails being interrupted, the walls start closing in on them, requiring Tails to fly them out of the tunnel after some brief tension over how he could get too tired. The story ends with them immediately being confronted by the bounty hunter pointing a laser blaster at them, with Tails thinking the amusing line, "This is proving to be a really bad day." That made me smile. The first story, by Nigel Kitching, had a kid be friends with a robot and defend it from Sonic, which felt pointless since it didn't build up to anything beyond that or explain anything. It sounds intriguing, but was he affected by the Nice Nick virus? Who knows? The second story was by Nigel Kitching and involved Knuckles and Captain Plunder taking a treasure from a ghost ship and predictably getting set upon by ghosts as a result. And the next story, by Lou Stringer, has Tails and Tantrum get saved for dinner by some badniks that are inexplicably programmed to want to eat them, when it could have worked better and more naturally with the badniks wanting to save them for organic batteries like normal. Tails lampshades in his thoughts how the little kid is whining 1 minute and admiring him the next, and is self-aware enough to compare himself to him, and I'm sure he won't get any character development when it comes to how he treats Sonic from this realization. Then Tails flies him out of the tunnel with the walls closing in just to get ambushed by the bounty hunter, who somehow didn't lose track of their heat signatures when they were over a bunch of lava.